Hello, it's Tuesday.
Already?
Already, yeah. Hello, everybody. This is the House of PMO again. We're here with this little short live session to talk to you about PMO Conference, which is coming up really soon. And we're
less than 4 weeks now.
Oh, it's
3 weeks tomorrow.
It's very soon.
It is.
We're going to be back in person, annual conference. We're going to be in London on the 9th of June. And this year, for the first time, we're going to be heading up to that glorious city of Edinburgh. And we're going to be there on the 15th of June. So we just thought just to have a little live session, just to talk through just a little bit about what we're getting excited about. Other than just being back in the room with lots
How
of...
great will that be?
Lots of PMO people. We've got people coming in, jetting back in again from outside the UK. Restrictions are finally lifted after the pandemic. But luckily for us, we've also, still got a large venue for the conference. There's going to be plenty of space for people. And you can also book with confidence. If you do find yourself suffering with COVID, your ticket will be secured for the following year, so you won't miss out. So if that's stopping you, don't let it come out and enjoy London and Edinburgh in the sun. We hope.
Well, going by the last couple of days, hopefully it'll hold out for June as well.
Yeah, so we're bringing together PMO people again. It's our annual conference, and we have a full program as ever. Hopefully, to inspire you to take away new ideas, to spend time.
I also think it's really good, what we mustn't forget as well. It's great for the speakers to come and talk about their stories. If you've had a really interesting, and I was going to say successful, sometimes it's just an interesting time in your PMO where something's happened or you've kind of set out to do something, and telling that story and the lessons that you've learned from it, and whether there's great improvement or whether there's just a really good lesson, sharing that with other professionals, other people who work in the PMO, it's great for the speakers as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can't beat hearing a good PMO story. Like you said, when we're curating these programs, when I'm talking to people about, what is your story, they're quite hesitant in that, not everything always goes well. In fact, excellent. That's what we want to hear. Most people do want to hear about when it's not going so well, and how do you turn things around.
And they're not all huge, big international PMOs either. There's some of the stories we get are from smaller PMOs because they have, some very kind of similar challenges. And so it doesn't matter where you are in the audience. I'm sure you're going to see some speakers from a PMO that looks a bit and feels a bit like your PMO, as well as perhaps a PMO you might want to work in, or perhaps a PMO that you used to work in. So there's really that ability to kind of to see different shapes and sizes and just share the fun of all of the breadth of PMO services.
Yeah. So how do you say we've got a full program, not just of people talking about their own PMOs, but we've got different experts that have been working in the field around PMO for a number of years that have got certainly new and exciting insights to share with you as well. And one of the great things about the day is that there's plenty of time to network in between sessions. We do have a full PMO exhibition of different products and services that are helping PMOs today get better at what it is they do. It's always really interesting with the experts because people do really want to talk to some of the experts behind, the different tools and things that are out there. And it's certainly always a really busy and buzzing part of the show as well. Other things as well that you can get involved with is that we always have an after party, so
and it's one thing at the end of the conference, Lindsay and I always stand up and say, don't rush off home. There's something happening in this location. Do come and have a drink with us. And we have such a small number join us every year. And actually, it is an open invitation. So I think it's really important when you're booking your travel. Yes, if you haven't already booked it, do think about, we don't finish till 5 o'clock. So stay till the end of the last speaker. always really fascinating, the last speaker we have. And then give yourself another hour or so and come and join us, and then you can have a kind of, all of the speakers will be, a lot of the speakers join us as well, and we'll obviously be there. And it's really time, we're very, by the time we get to the kind of that party, we're very much relieved that everything's gone successfully. So it's quite nice to kind of catch us kind of in our more relaxed moment after the conference.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to quite a few sessions, obviously. I mean, I'm the one that does most of the curating, so I get to choose some of the ones that certainly interest me. I mean, I'm going to go with, just first of all, I'm really looking forward to seeing Laura Barnard here in the UK. Laura was supposed to be joining us in 2020, and of course the world went upside down, but I'm really glad that she's going to be able to join us this year. And one of the things about the stuff that Laura's been doing, and I'm sure you're well aware of the kind of high impact PMO stuff that Laura's been doing, is that she really is taking that message about the business driven PMO and how to really show the value of your PMO to your business. Just really some great stuff around that kind of theme, and her enthusiasm is infectious, even though it's just the best way to kick off.
She's a good American.
Really good session to get us going, but for me, I always like to, it sets the tone for the day, and then everything else that comes after it.
Because I quite the after the keynote speaker who will be doing the kind of the afternoon in London, but also is doing the keynote in Edinburgh, America Pinto, who is the Value Ring. I was at Value Circle. I was nearly there at the Value Ring, and they've been running, kind of a PMO global awards for the last couple of years. And he's going to talk about the things that they've learned from globally excellent PMOs. Now, there's going to be some fascinating things in there. And I also think what's really interesting, and as the House of PMOs continue to grow more global, what will be really interesting is whether America has pulled out any kind of cultural differences between the PMOs, and whether it is different in different organizations or different countries around the world. So I'm interested to see those elements.
America is a great speaker, really engaging. Just as well, he'll be doing the afternoon session straight after lunch in London, and you can catch him also in Edinburgh at the end of the day.
So who have you got for the last speaker? Because you always pick somebody really interesting to kind of end the conference.
I've got it's slightly different, and I don't think many people will be aware of Andrew. Andrew Wyatt Sand is an ex-radio presenter, so straight away, you're going to
have a nice voice.
It's
does he have a face for radio? That's the question.
So Andrew more recently has been working with teams and businesses and all around change. He has a psychological background, so it's that kind of, me, I always like the stuff that's a bit more about how we think, how we work with each other, all of that kind of good stuff. But the great one with this is that we had a really good conversation when we're coming to picking, what it is that you could do. And we have that classic one about, how the PMO engages with some of the more senior execs within the organisation. It's certainly something at House of PMO we've touched on before. And so we love the came up with taming the untamable. But it's certainly going to be something that you will recognise and have, some really interesting insights and a few little giggles along the way, no doubt. So he's going to be a great one to close it. I think in some of the sessions that are running throughout the day, I've been waiting, again, we've got two PMO of the Year winners with us, because we had a bit of a gap, obviously, because of the pandemic. So we will hear from the most recent winner, which was BT Client Services. They'll be talking about what has made their PMO award winning. We also hear from Martin from Montserrat. So he won a couple of years ago, and he has got a brilliant story about what it is that they've been doing over in Montserrat, and really giving us some insights into just how far the PMO can go.
He's had such an interesting portfolio to work with as well, to be fair, hasn't he? He's had a what must have been a fascinating job over the last couple of years.
So if you like Death in Paradise, a TV programme.
I do. Your pleasure.
I think it has some kind of similarities there in terms of the kind of environment that he was working in. So that's going to be a really interesting story. But like I said, a lot of this is not necessarily about people being award winning or experts. It is also just about the people that are doing the job and finding successes, sometimes small successes along the way.
Well, I think the interesting bit as well is we've done some work recently on leadership. You might have seen our video and our talk that we did on leadership. So it'll be interesting to see Simon Harwood's talk on PMO leadership, because he'll bring another angle from his perspective as well. So I'm quite interested to kind of to see the PMO leadership element.
He has some great insights as well, and some he's very good at his little sound bites, I think. So there'll be certainly something that resonates there. And we've also got some interesting stories from the NHS. We'll also hear one about Selfridges from a retail point of view. We'll also hear one that's an enterprise PMO in Saudi Arabia. How about if somebody said to you, get a PMO to support the building of a new town in its entirety, from schools, hospital, houses, the whole thing. It's a big PMO, and again, it's nice and refreshing to hear. Shailesh will be talking about that, just how calm he was.
Wow.
And how he's quite calm in the way that he approaches things. So I think there's probably some lessons there in how to not get too stressed.
So I just want to ask a bit because we're doing Edinburgh, but it's not an exact replication, is it? We've taken the opportunity to bring some local speakers into the Edinburgh conference.
Yeah, and the reason why we're in Edinburgh is that when we first started Flashmob back in 2013, it was one of the key cities, shall I say, Edinburgh and Glasgow, because we know we've got a great PMO community, a lot of people working in PMO across Scotland, and we wanted to make sure that we tapped into that community as well and brought people together. And it's been a while, obviously, since you've been anywhere. However, wanted to get back up to Scotland because it is such a great vibe, and it was important to us, of course, to make sure that yes, some of the sessions overlap with London, but not all. We've got some that are very specifically to Edinburgh, but we've also got some local people as well, which we've got Kerry from Police Scotland, we've got the team from TSB, from the PMO team at
There's a big finance spot up in Scotland, isn't there?
Yeah, and we've got Maggie, who's got great career over many years in PMO, and she's going to be doing as warts and all the journey of a PMO practitioner. And we've got Jonathan as well, who's worked in many portfolio offices as well, and Jonathan is going to be sharing his insights. We've also got other people there that are not speaking in London, and the thing is with any of these sessions, I mean, if you're not already aware, the PMO conference actually records every single session, which means that, I don't know if you've ever been to a conference sometimes, Eileen, and you see that they're being recorded.
Well, there's 4 streams as well, and you're struggling to go on.
Yeah, but you see them recorded, but where do you ever get access to the recordings after?
Very rarely.
Exactly, but we make sure that you get access to all of them. So you can come to London, you will also get the access to the recordings that, in Edinburgh.
So is that for anybody? So just I want to be clear about this, because does that mean anybody who's bought a ticket automatically gets access to all of them? But what about members? Because we've got online members and we've got full members.
Yes.
So who gets access from the membership community?
Okay, so if you can't make the conference this year, members do get access to the recordings, but they don't just all come out in one go. So if you come to the conference, you get access to all those recordings within a couple of weeks after the conference. If you're members, we start to put out those recordings on a one-by-one basis. We tend to write up about them, share it, slide
so they get kind of added as well in terms of embellished and
but it's
comments
all
and
in
reflection.
Go, but you will get it access.
And is that for all free members, or just the?
It's just online, and full members get access to the PMO conference recordings. And not only that, if you do become a member, you also get access to the previous conference recordings as well, which is a library collection there.
Absolutely.
So a lot to dip into. So we're London and we're Edinburgh, and we'll be in Edinburgh on the 15th, and we'll be closing with a party there too. Looking forward to that one. Nice scenic barbecue overlooking Arthur Seat. The weather's going to be glorious, isn't it?
Absolutely.
In Scotland. And again, we're just so looking forward to seeing some of the faces we've seen over the years that are working in PMOs in Scotland, and also to the new people too.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it, Eileen.
Absolutely.
Have you bought your dress?
I might have done, not sure yet. I'm always open to a new dress.
There you go then. We're ready. We'll hope to see you in a few weeks. Take care, everybody.
See you then. Bye-bye.